Hello, learners. Welcome to this program titled Innovative Ways of Developing Self Learning Material. I'm Shutapa Bose. I teach at the School of Education, Indira Gandhi National Open University. I have with me an expert, Dr. Ajit Kumar. Ajit Kumar is also a teacher educator. He teaches at the School of Education, Indira Gandhi National Open University. Well, you know that while developing self learning material, one of the things that we must keep in mind is that the units that we develop should not be loaded with content. The content shouldn't be too much. But at the same time, a teacher may have to include some information which would supplement and strengthen what she is teaching. What is the way out? The solution for this is that you may either hyperlink it to resources that are already there in your computer as files or to resources that are web based. For example, there may be a good video which you would like your learners to watch after they have read what you have taught using self learning material. You can create a hyperlink and the link would lead your learners to the resource. Sometimes, when there is a document, for example, the course material that you prepare, if it is digitized, it may turn out into a 50-page or 70-page document. While you are at page 5, you may require your learners to visit, say, page 50 or page 49. Instead of asking them to scroll down all the way to that particular page, you may create a bookmark. This also helps the process of navigation. And then coming back to the problem of providing supplementary learning material without making the SLM heavy. As I said, hyperlinking is one way out, and the second way could be the use of QR code. Dr. Ajit is an expert in educational technology and he is going to explain to us all these things. And remember that this is definitely for text-based SLM but in the digitized form. With this, I would hand it over to Ajit to make a presentation wherein he would explain all these three techniques. So I think Ajit, you may begin with hyperlinking, that why it is done. Second question, how it is done.
Thank you, Professor Sutapa. Friends and learners, today we will be discussing about how you can make hyperlink in your text document. Say, for example, if you are preparing a self-learning material, as Professor Sutapa was mentioning, if there is a good website where the students will get more idea about the content that is discussed in the text, then to that website in the same self-learning material you can give a hyperlink. So to start with, I would just give a brief explanation to what a hyperlink is about. We may say it is an icon or a word or a phrase or image that you can click on to get another document or website or another file in the same document. In brief, we can say this is hyperlink. So if you see a hyperlink in your self-learning material or any text material, when you click on that hyperlink, it will take you to another document or to a separate website, which would help you to get more idea about the concepts which are discussed. When you create a hyperlink, it is usually, the color will be changing to blue color and you can see a underline also. We will see how it is done in the maybe a text making software like Microsoft Word or Google Docs. So friends, as you are seeing in the slide, this is a Word document. If you want to insert a hyperlink, see, this is the place. You might be aware of this link, the insert link in the Microsoft Word. This is the place where you can insert many documents, many shapes, charts, so on and so forth. So you first open a Microsoft Word page, then this is the document which you are seeing. This is the document which we have prepared as our text document. Now you see I have written something like click here to read more on components of communication. So this document is discussing about the components of communication. If you want to get more idea about, if you want to know more about the components of communication, you have to click here. So here, this is the place where we will add the hyperlink. So we don't have to give again a explanation here. Instead, we will hyperlink this to a website. So to start with, you open the Microsoft Word page, then you add something like click here to read more on components of communication. This is done. After doing that, you have to click on the insert. When you click on the insert, you come to the right side of this page, you can see something like link here. You have to click on the link. Then when you are clicking on this link, you can see something like insert link. So come to insert, click on insert first, then click on link, then you click on insert link. When you click on the insert link, this kind of a dialog box will appear. Now you have to make sure that you have to click on this. You can see something like existing file or web page. So this is the web page or file which we are going to hyperlink. So you select this first, existing file or web page. Then you can see on the downside there is something like address. This is the place where you will give the website address. So I had given a website address in the lower side of this screen, you can see. So this is the website where the students will get more idea about the components of communication. So I'll just copy this website address and I will just paste it on this place where you can see address and a blank space. So I'll just copy this and paste it on this blank space. After doing that, I'll click on OK. So I'll click on this website, I'll put it on this blank space, then I'll click on OK. So once you are clicking on OK, your hyperlinking is done. Now let us see how you will see when it is hyperlinked. See, we have seen click here to read more on components of communication. Earlier it was black in color. When you hyperlink it, this color turns to blue color and you can see a underline also. So now when a student reads this text document, when he reaches at this point, he will click here to read more on components of communication. When he clicks on this hyperlink, it will take you to that particular website where they can read more about components of communication. So friends, this is one of the ways of creating hyperlink. And what we have done, we have used a text material. This is a text material. Click here to read more on components of communication. So this is one of the ways of hyperlinking in text material. The same can be done with images also. You can see one image on the lower side, which is nothing but this is again a picture graphic representing the components of communication. Even when the student clicks on this image, again it may take you to another website. So you can hyperlink on the text or images. So now I'll demonstrate how you can give or insert a hyperlink on the images or pictures. Again, this is a Microsoft Word page. You are seeing a image file here, components of communication. To insert a hyperlink on this image, you have to first select this image. So once it is selected, you can see some circles on the corners of this image. So that means this image is selected. Now we will repeat the same process which is done for inserting hyperlink on the text. I'll select this image first, then I'll come to the link. I'll click on this link, then you can see insert a link there. So we will click on the link, then we will insert the website address, then we will click on OK. So
the procedure, Ajit, remains the same, whether it is for an image or for
exactly.
Ajit, I think you could also, for example, they are editing or they feel that they have hyperlinked at the wrong place. So there is also an option for removing the hyperlink, isn't it? Same by clicking on it.
Yes.
And the remove option is there.
Yes.
So that can also be done if they want to edit it.
Yes. So friends, image we have seen, the same process we will repeat. Now this is one slide which you are seeing is after inserting the hyperlink. Now how you will see whether it is hyperlinked or not? See, when you read the self-learning material or text material, you can see in this slide also, when you place your cursor on this image, you can see some kind of a dialog box appearing again. So this will make sure that it is properly hyperlinked. Even this will also work with this text material. So when you place the cursor on this text or image, you can see something like a dialog box appearing, which will say like, if you want to see the hyperlink, then you have to you have to press the control key in your keyboard, then you have to click this image. So this is how the hyperlinks are accessed. If you want to access, you have to bring the cursor on that particular text material or image, and you have to press the control key in your keyboard, then you have to click the keyboard. So then it will take you to the website page. So this is how the hyperlinking is done in text materials or self-learning materials.
I think now you have explained how to hyperlink, and you have also explained it not only for words but also for images.
Yes.
So I think we could now discuss how to create bookmarks,
Yes.
isn't it?
Yes.
Bookmark, unlike hyperlinks, will not enrich your document with supplementary material but would definitely facilitate navigation from one part of your document to another part without having to scroll up and down. Ajit, yes.
Yes, exactly, Professor Sutapa. See, when you read a text material, self-learning material, you will see some places, some concepts which are very important. So when you maybe at a later point of time, when you revise that self-learning materials, when you reread that, you want to get to that place where you have pointed out or seen some concepts which are very important. So the concepts or points which are very important, what you will do, you will bookmark that concepts. So for that, bookmarking is done. When we are talking about maybe a kind of a definition, we can say is an identifier placed in a document so that part of the document can be accessed easily. So what happens? You read a self-learning material, text material, you find some places important, you keep on bookmarking those points. And at a later point, you don't have to scroll down the entire documents to see the important points. So for that, bookmarking is done. I'll show how it is done in a self-learning material, text material. So friends, again you are seeing a Word document. This Word document is talking about the verbal communication. So when you are reading this document, you feel that this concept is very important, verbal communication. So what you will do, you will bookmark this verbal communication. To bookmark, what you will do, you will bring the mouse cursor to the beginning or end of this word. Okay, so for the time being, it is shown here like I'll place my pointer somewhere here in the beginning, just before 1. Then I'll come to this insert link. I'll click on insert. When you are clicking on insert, again you can see, first you will see the link, then you can see bookmark. You will click on the bookmark. Let me repeat, you will place the cursor in the beginning, then you will click on insert, then click on bookmark. Then this kind of a dialog box will appear. Then you have to give a name for bookmarking. Usually people give the same name. If it is very lengthy, you can make it short. Okay, so for the time being, we can simply keep it like verbal communication. So I'll type verbal communication here. See, when you're typing the title of your bookmark, you should you should note that there should not be a space in between the words. So verbal communication will go as a single word without any space. So you will type verbal communication here. If there is no space, then this link, the add, will get activated. Then only you can click on the add. So you will type verbal communication, then you will click on add. So that is done. So you have now bookmarked this word or this document, verbal communication. See, you can see in this slide, I have typed verbal communication. When I type verbal communication, a blue color appears on this add button. It means that it is activated. Then now I will click on add. So now it is done, it is bookmarked. Once you do the bookmarking, after bookmarking, you can see a cursor blinking here. Otherwise you will not see that cursor. Okay, so this is how you will make sure that this sentence or this word is bookmarked. So this is how, friends, you will bookmark different portions of your text or self learning materials. So once it is done, then where you will find the bookmarked documents? To see the bookmarked documents, you have to come to the Word document or self learning material again. Then you have to click on this find. You can see on the right top of this Word document, you have to click on this find. When you click on this find, this kind of a dialog box will appear. Then you can see, you have to click on this, go to what, you have to select the bookmark. When you select the bookmark, all the bookmarked content will appear here. For the time being, I have only bookmarked the verbal communication, so that's only appearing here, verbal communication. If you have bookmarked non-verbal communication, if you have bookmarked other important documents, then all those will be listed here. Now when you click on this verbal communication, it will take directly to that place where verbal communication is discussed in the self-learning material or text. So this is how bookmarking is done and how you will access bookmarks in the self-learning documents or self-learning materials.
Well, Ajit, when we buy books, sometimes we get actually a paper bookmark with a string.
Yes.
And after reaching the 50th page, if I have to do something else, then I just insert that page, that paper.
string.
Yes, paper strip, and then after
Exactly.
that, it becomes easy for me to
Yes.
reach the place where I had
Yes.
been. So this is the same concept. Okay, so now you would be telling us something about creating cross reference, isn't it?
Yes, friends.
Okay.
When we were discussing about the hyperlinking, I was saying that you can hyperlink to the same document, some other document in the same document, some other topics in the same document. Cross-referencing is also used for that. When we talk about maybe a definition kind of a thing, we can say is a mention of another part of a document, book, where more information can be found. Say for example, at some point I have talked about verbal communication, and after maybe 10-20 pages, there will be a section which is again discussing more about the verbal communication. So when the students read about verbal communication in the beginning, they will not be getting a full idea about what verbal communication is about. So they will be asked to see the verbal communication which is discussed at a later point or maybe after 10-20 pages. So to do that, we will make use of this facility, which is the cross-referencing. I'll demonstrate how it is done in a Microsoft Word page, which is usually done in the self-learning materials. So to do that, again, as you are seeing in the slide, there is a Microsoft Word. You can see intrapersonal communication, a concept is discussed here. It is not completely discussed in this document at this point. So there is some place where intrapersonal communication is more discussed. So I'll request my learners, when they reach at this point, I'll request my learners to go to that point where intrapersonal communication is discussed in a deeper way. So to do that, what I'll do, to do that, I'll put my cursor here. Then again, I'll click on insert. I'll come to the right side. You can see cross-referencing here. We have seen link, bookmark. Then you can see on the lower side cross-reference. I'll click on cross-referencing. When I click on cross-referencing, this kind of a dialog box will appear. Now we'll see bookmark. You can see when you click on this place, you can see bookmark appearing here. Now you will get different options. You can bookmark paragraphs, you can bookmark numbers. If you have different titles, based on titles also you can bookmark. For the time being, I am clicking on bookmark. When I am clicking on bookmark, see all the places where I have bookmark will appear here. Then I'll select that particular bookmark point. Then I'll click on insert. So friends, this is how it is done. You just select the portion or text material which you want to bookmark, then click on cross-reference, then select the bookmark, then you click on insert. So when you read this intrapersonal communication, why I have used this verbal communication? It is something related to verbal communication. So the student will get more idea about how it is linked and all. So for that I am doing that cross referencing, and this verbal communication is not discussed somewhere here, it is discussed after a particular number of pages. So it will take directly to that particular point. Now I will click on insert. Now it is done. When you click on the cross referencing, as I was saying, link, bookmark, then cross referencing. So this kind of a dialog box will appear. And I was saying you can cross referencing based on heading. From one heading to other heading you can cross reference. From one footnote to other footnote you can cross reference. So all those is possible. You will also see insert reference to bookmark text, page number. So from one heading to if you want to give a cross reference to another page number, that is also possible. So this slide is shown just to give an awareness that you can do cross referencing in different ways, from paragraph to pages, bookmark to page numbers. There are many options. Now you have done the cross referencing. Now how you will make sure that it is cross reference? See, as I was saying in the case of link, when you bring your mouse pointer here, this is the place where we had given the cross referencing, intrapersonal communication. When you bring your mouse pointer here, you can see again a dialog box, small dialog box appearing here, and it is showing like control plus click. So if you want to see where it is cross referenced, you have to press your control key in the keyboard and you have to click. Then it will directly take you to that cross referenced point. So friends, this is how cross referencing is done in self-learning materials or text materials.
Well, Ajit, we have seen that bookmarking definitely helps us to navigate, but apart from that, it also helps us to enrich our material, maybe in a somewhat indirect way, but it does help us to enrich our material. Now that we have learned how to create hyperlinks and how to use hyperlinks, and we have also learned about bookmarking, including cross-reference, I think another way to enrich our SLM is by using QR codes. So you may tell us about that. How to generate QR codes, the first question, and the second is how to embed it in the SLM.
So friends, now we will talk about QR codes, how it is developed and how it is inserted in a self-learning material. To start with a simple definition of QR code, it is nothing but this is a two-dimensional barcode that contains information and quickly readable by smartphones. This is usually read using a smartphone, mobile phone. And you might have seen the QR codes appearing in the newspapers in different self-learning materials or text materials. When you read a particular point, if you want to understand more about that concept which is discussed, they might have given a barcode, and what you have to do as a learner, you have to scan that QR code. It will take you to access that particular website or any other document. So this is, when we are talking about the definition, this is how it stands. This is a two-dimensional barcode which usually contains information and it is read using a smartphone. This is consisting of black squares, black and white squares. Normally this is how it is done, but you will also see what we say the QR codes which are in different colors also, but normally it is black and white. When you are generating QR code, you can decide whether it is to be black and white or in different colors. This is how you will see the QR codes. It comes in different shapes, different colors. The dots which are seeing in the QR code is also different. So in the screen you are seeing some barcodes. Now, what information usually it is holding a QR code? It can be a website, it can be a YouTube link, it can be your Facebook page, Twitter page, it can store your phone numbers, or the plain text messages also, it can hold the QR code. And it works well on all the Android phones, iPhones, tablets, laptops, etc. When we talk about the different types of QR code, there are two types of QR code. One is dynamic, the other is static. See, dynamic QR codes, when you are generating a QR code, if it is a dynamic QR code, then you can make changes in the QR code, and that's why we call it as a dynamic QR code. If it is not editable, if you feel some more information is to be added in the QR code, then this will not work with the static QR code which is uneditable. So there are editable and uneditable QR codes. Now we'll talk about how it is created. Friends, it's very easy creating QR code. When you see the website or the Google page, if you search for the QR code generators, when you type the keyword of QR code generators, you will find a number of QR code generators appearing in. In the slide, you are seeing some of the most popular QR code generators. Like say for example, QR code monkey is there, QR code generator, QR stuff, there are many. Now I am going to demonstrate how it is developed, a QR code. Say for example, we have a self-learning material which is talking about, I'll take the case of the concept which we have discussed for what we say the hyperlinking and bookmarking. There is a unit, there is a self-learning material on communication which is talking about the communication. Now, when the learner reads about the concept of communication, there can have a website which gives more information about the communication. So what, as a content generator, as a developer of self-learning material, I will bring that content to my self-learning material in the form of QR code. So I don't have to give all the contents which are available in the website. Even otherwise that is not, possible, because there are copyright issues and all. But there are open educational resources which of course you can bring in. So I'll take the content of that website to my self-learning materials in the form of QR code. So I don't have to repeat the content which is discussed in the website. For that, I'll make use of a QR code generator. Say for example, the QR code generator, this is a website which will help you to develop QR codes. So I'll demonstrate how it is done. When you go to the Google or any other search engine, type the keyword like QR code generator. This is how it will look like when you access the QR code generator website. This is a website which will help you to develop QR code. This is the screenshot of that particular website. See, it is appearing like this QR code generator. Then you can see free text, URL, contact, phone, SMS. And I was saying in the beginning, you can make QR codes of any free text, website you can make as a QR code, any contact number you can make, phone number, SMS, anything can be made as a QR code. So for the time being, say for example, I have a website, say for example, this is the website address of this particular QR code generator website, okay. So say for example, there is a website which is talking about communication. So I'll copy that QR website address, then I'll paste it on this blank space. So friends, we will access the QR code generator first, then I'll click on URL, then I have a website which talks about more about communication. I'll copy that website address, I'll paste it on this blank space. As soon as you paste the URL address here, website address here, web link here, your QR code will be generated. Very simple. Visit the QR code generator website, take the website address, paste it here. As soon as you paste, the QR code will be generated. Now your QR code is ready. Now what you will do, you have a self-learning material which is talking about the communication. You have to insert this QR code there. So for that, what you have to do, you have to click on this QR code, then you have to right click on this QR code. Then you will get the option for copying this QR code. Once it is copied, you can directly paste it on your self-learning materials which is usually prepared in Word or Google Doc. So simply click on this QR code, right click, then copy this image and paste it on the self-learning material or text document that you have prepared. So friends, this is how it is done. So see what happens when a learner reads that concept regarding communication, he will see this QR code, he will scan that QR code with the mobile phone, then it will take the learner to that particular website where he will read more about communication. So this is how it is done, the creation of QR code and embedding in a Word page or text document.
Thank you, Ajit. You have explained very well. that QR code can be generated with ease, and this is also something which is not a paid service. Free of cost, you can access QR code generators, and number of QR code generators are there. Just generate a QR code, and then after that you can save it, and you can also adjust the size. And then you all that you need to do is that your learners, all that they need to do is that they just need to scan it using using their phone, and after that they can access the material which would supplement and strengthen the material that you have developed. I thank you, Ajit. And we have discussed in this program how to enrich our self learning material without adding content to it, but just by creating path to additional content. Thank you very much.
Thank you.